Mm, 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 mm. Hey, as promised, she got her hair together. As promised, I was braiding into the midnight hour, and I still, don't judge me, I still have one twist. Let me see. One, this feels like one. I mean, maybe I can make it into two, but I still have one twist left. But you do what you can with what you have, right? So the reason why, and you're like, well, why didn't you just do that one last twist? Because now I need to open up another bag of hair. So look, you know how we always chitter chat at the beginning, give folks a chance to hop in. You'd be so proud because all I do is stay in the house, right? And like the song says, bored in the house, and I'm in the house bored. I'm not bored, but I'm in the house. And so I took the leap as I said I would, and I jumped on Amazon, ordered the hair online, and then this is what we have come up with. So I started braiding at 10 p.m. last night because I've been talking about it all week. I've been at Pivot Biz Conference. If you have missed it, low key, you probably should buy the replay. I'm not putting on Pivot. But I'm telling you, I have been since quarantine attending the summits and the conferences that have been online because then I don't have to worry about babysitting and all of that. Yo, sometimes I go to these summits and conferences and like I don't even take notes because I'm like, it wasn't that helpful. But when I feel like I got to get that phone out and take those notes or get my 2020 notebook that said she thought she could, so she did, or she believed she could, so she did, where I document my TCS journey, like at the point where I got to whip out notes, then that's how I know that it's lit. And yeah, it's not my conference, but I would be remiss if I didn't tell you all about it, especially if you're a side hustler or an entrepreneur. It's free. I've been at all the sessions. Even if I was like, I don't know about this session, I've attended all of the sessions, and today's sessions have been fire. Fire. Like, oh. And there's another session going on right now. So right after I get off with live with y'all, I'm hopping over onto that session because Hello Arnita is doing that session. All right, who do we have? Hi, Nina Cass. Hey, 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 Alamode. Ew. Hand waves and shoulder rolls to both of you. And so let me go ahead and pin today's topic. What did I call it? Oh, yeah. So I always try to think of like a cute little name, right? Because here's the thing, everyone's going live, right? So, I feel like they're poking around and they're like, ooh, what's on IG? What should I be paying attention to? So the last 2 weeks, I've been trying to put my title in the live, um, so that if it's of interest or like, you're asking for a friend, if you want to, spend some time and tune in and whatnot. Okay. Y'all know I be struggling. And plus, I get distracted. So look, here, I'm trying to pin it, IG. Let me be great. Okay. So yes, I jumped into these twists last night and slept on them, and it was uncomfortable for me. I feel like I didn't sleep that great. Nevertheless, she persisted. So here we are live again for another episode of Shoulder Roll, Day to Day with Dorothy. I'm your host, Dorothy Enriquez. If I have slid into your feed or a friend sent this to you, thank you for tuning in. If you've never tuned in before, if you are watching the replay, you can still comment and get in on this action because I do read all of the comments. Okay, so who am I? I'm Dorothy Enriquez. I'm the principal and founder of The Communication Strategist, a boutique learning and leadership development firm where I help ordinary people become remarkable leaders. Ordinary people like me, ordinary people like you, help us become remarkable leaders because I always say, why be ordinary when you could be remarkable? Yes? Yes? Who wants to be ordinary? And here's the deal, right? There are plenty of people who will take on that slot of ordinary and average. But if I jumped on saying, hey, I have this average IG show with average leadership development tips, with average swaggerific, tricks and tools, you'd be like, ugh, I don't want average, I want the best, right? How are you going to show up remarkably, Dorothy, and show up and bring the pain every single day? And let me tell you, so I facilitate an entrepreneurial accelerator on Tuesdays. And, some of the students or participants were like, you go live every day? Yes, every day, rain or shine, snow or no, whether I want to or don't want to, I want to be here bringing my leadership development thoughts, ideas, tips, tricks, because if we could all be a little bit more remarkable, listen, I believe the world would be a better place. Imagine if some of your worst bosses had a little bit more oomph and a little bit more of a desire to be remarkable because they now have the skills to do it. Imagine if the boss that has the potential to be great and is driving you crazy because they're not remarkable yet. They're still hovering in that ordinary category. Imagine if you could just wave the wand and now greatness is upon them. Now they're headed towards being remarkable. Imagine. And so that's why I don't want to sit back and be silent and just be like, well, we're in a pandemic, so let me just be in quarantine, chilling out. So that's why I jump on here every day and share. Share, share, share. I feel like as leaders, we're required to lead from every seat that we sit in, and this is part of my leadership journey. That's what I think. Okay, trying to get this here together. All right, so thank you for joining Opulent Mind Shift. I love Opulence account. If you're not following, you should. Inspiration for days. All right, so let's jump into it. We've had enough chitter chat for the day. Recovering perfectionists. So today I want to give the antidote to perfectionism. And this topic is near and dear to my heart. If you are a corporate hustler, I know you can relate. If you're an entrepreneur, I feel like you can relate as well. So normally I'm talking to my corporate hustlers, but today I'm talking to all y'all, right? Corporate hustlers, entrepreneurs, side hustlers, everybody, because I feel like perfectionism is persistent and it is consistent. And it's something that we start to notice, I think, when we're quite young. And the biggest thing about perfectionism that I think is sneaky, okay? Super sneaky, because it hides and weasels in between this idea that we have about wanting to do our best. Inside of that, sometimes perfectionism can take hold like a tick or something, right? And attach itself. And we're thinking this is all really based on me wanting to do a good job. And sometimes it's not that. It is you being a perfectionist. And so why this topic? Because I'm a recovering perfectionist. I struggle with perfectionism all the time, right? Maybe not every day, but it rears its ugly head all the time because I feel like I haven't been a perfectionist my whole life. I don't think that I started to notice trends of perfectionism until maybe high school, somewhere around there, where I started to just kind of be like, oh my God, it's not perfect. I can't turn this in, and I still turn things in on time, but it would give me so much anxiety. And here's the thing too, when our perfectionism is like over the top, sometimes we are late. We're late with deadlines. We sometimes don't turn stuff in at all because it's not where we want it to be. Sometimes we don't pursue the things that we want to pursue because we just can't get it right. Sometimes we have ideas, whether in corporate or in business, where we want to launch something or we want to propose something, but because we can't get it just exactly so, just exactly perfect, we don't do it, right? And if I take my ebook, for example, The Plug, Become the Remarkable Leader Everyone Wants to Know, when I tell you, I spent maybe at least an hour or two just agonizing over, oh, I need this to be perfect. And then guess what? I let that ish go. And I feel like the reason why I was able to let it go, though, is because I ran a magazine publication for like almost 8 years. And it got to a point where I would read and reread and reread and reread, have the copy editor read, and we would do our very best, but because we'd be looking at that issue for months, sometimes we couldn't even see some of the mistakes and errors and things like that. And we would end up with a magazine that had a typo or some sort of grammatical something, and it would kill me. But at least it was out, right? At least we went to print. At least it got published. At least we sold our copies. At least we got our pre-orders. At least. And then when we do the second run, guess what? I can fix it, right? Even with the plug, I released it, and then one of the readers reached out and said, ooh, you know what would be cool is if you added one extra line in the getting ready, because I did this when I was getting ready. I think it could be great, right? Just in case. I like it. Okay, let me add that one extra line and then republish it to the site where folks can purchase. No bigs, right? It's not, it's not like we can't move forward just because things aren't perfect. And the other thing that I was thinking about as I was getting ready to jump on and spend a little time with you all is around the idea of, is it truly that we want things to be perfect? Like for real, for real? Is it truly couched in perfectionism? Or is it more about self-doubt, right? Like, am I worried about what people are going to be thinking? Am I worried about what folks are going to be saying? Am I worried about how this is going to impact my reputation, how people see me, whatever the case may be? Look, and I'm fiddling with this hair because it's not how I normally wear my hair. And sometimes, even when I think back of when I have had major struggles and challenges with perfectionism, honestly, I think part of it was doubting my ability, right? My ability, my capability, my competence, my confidence, all of these things rolled up to create this little tornado of why I cannot make the ebook, why I cannot do the magazine, why I cannot launch TCS, why I cannot change my mind about the colors, why I cannot, and in this spiraling, I think sometimes we stop moving, we lose momentum, and then we don't get stuff done, and then we just say, because, we make up some sort of excuse about why we couldn't get it done, and sometimes we may just say outright, well, it's not perfect, or it's not ready yet. Woo, you're snapping on my boss. No, on my toes, stepping on my toes. There we go. All right, listen, but I feel like this is so real. And I'm not just, talking like, oh, y'all need to stop being perfectionists. No, you need to stop being a perfectionist. I mean, when I think about, my older daughter, the 10-year-old, right? When I was putting together her slumber party, this was only the second slumber party I've ever hosted in my life, right? So putting together the slumber party for her, and it's a unicorn themed slumber party. There's going to be like 5 kids over here. You would think I would just slap things together. No. God, my perfectionism started to kick in. The balloons needed to be perfect. The decor needed to be perfect. By the time it was time to execute, I was so stressed that I needed to take a chill pill, right? And it's just like, these are kids. They don't care. But my challenge, my issue, my struggle kicking in. And I had to take a quick breather because I was going to be the one hosting the party. I was going to be the one doing the facials and helping paint nails and setting up the movie, right? And all of that. And the ice cream social, everything. So I needed to make sure that I could be present and not bring my crap into this new scene and environment where it has no business living. But I think when we're, trying to recover from perfectionism, that's exactly how that goes down. We're trying to rally and we don't take that step back and we don't take that breather, and that's no good, right? So 2 tips, and then I'm going to give you the antidote. Hi, Rossi, Cynthia. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're talking about recovering perfectionists, aka me and many other folks that I know. We are all, listen, in perfectionism AA, okay? Or perfectionism anonymous. So, tip number one as we recover, and these are things that I have implemented in my life over the years as well. Number one, drop the list of all the ways that you need to be better and change. Now, am I saying that you should just never improve, grow, and develop? Absolutely not, right? I have a whole ebook out on helping you become a remarkable leader. What I am saying, though, and as far as drop the list because it's coming from a place of I'm not good enough. Drop the list because it's coming from a place of I'm not qualified, I'm not called, you know, drop the list if that's where it's coming from, because it's coming from a place where it is all couched and housed in this idea of self-doubt, right? If we're wanting to become remarkable leaders, it's because we truly know that we have the potential to be a remarkable leader, but not saying, I'm going to become a remarkable leader, and then turning around and having this mental self-talk to say, I can never be a remarkable leader, though, so I'm going to do this work and I'm not going to do anything with it because I don't have the self-efficacy I need to move forward, right? And begin this process of loving on you a little bit and not hating on how you're built. And what I mean by that is, for example, for me, once I entered corporate America, and I lived in corporate, right? And I played in the corporate arena for almost 20 years. Once I entered corporate America, I struggled the entire freaking time. And I hated that I struggled with not wanting to be in corporate. I hated it. I thought it was a personality flaw. And so, this tip of dropping all the ways that you need to be better and change, I literally was trying to conform to the mold of operating in this corporate space. And it didn't matter what I did, I couldn't do it. It would be like Black Dorothy trying to be White Dorothy, right? And I'm like I'm trying to change my hair, trying to change my skin tone, trying to change my nose, trying to change my lips, everything. Like, it will never be. And once I came to the realization that I will never be built for this and just accepted that as how I'm built instead of looking at it as an internal flaw, it was a game changer for me, an absolute game changer, right? So tip number one, if we're going to recover from perfectionism, drop the list of all the ways that we need to change and be better if it's coming from a place of I'm not good enough. I'm not qualified. I'm not competent. I'm not capable. Drop that. If it's coming from a place of, yes, this is an opportunity for me to grow, for me to develop, for me to make more money, go for it. But we want to make sure that we're in the right mind frame as we move forward. Second tip, let done be better than perfect. This is one of my favorite quotes. I feel like I've been saying this quote since probably like 2007, 2008, especially when I started to get ready to launch my first business, like my talk show and things like that, way back in the day. Because my perfectionism would take hold, and it would be very difficult for me to be present at times because it's not perfect. Everything's not just so the way that I planned it. And I say recovering perfectionist because I fall into the perfectionism trap all the time, depending on how, intense things are. Okay, who do we have? This is incredible information. Thank you. So glad I tuned in. Yes, Rossi, shoulder roll. Yes, Cynthia. So let done be better than perfect. In my media kit, this is something that I have like on one of the pages in big letters, not only to remind myself, but let my clients know, like, yes, I want to deliver great work. I want what I submit to be polished, on point, and have that level of thought leadership that they expect from me as a strategic partner, but I'm going to get it done. And we're going to make sure that it's good, but it's not going to be perfect. You know why? Because I'm a human being and I'm not perfect. So that means I can't do perfect work. But what I can do is execute with brilliance. That is going to be my commitment to each and every one of my clients, whether it's a business to business client or a business to consumer, like anyone watching, this live right now or the replay. So those are my two tips. Okay, So, to review, 2 tips. It was just 2 when we're thinking about recovering from perfectionism. Drop the list of all the ways that you need to be better or change when it's coming from a negative place. Like, I'm not called. Yes, you are. I'm not qualified. Oh, yes, you are. He said you're qualified. So you're qualified, sis. Let's get out there and go do it. If it's coming from a negative place, drop that and pick up this idea that we're like, ooh, I can do this. I'm ready. I'm here to make some serious magic and really put my mark on the world because so many people are waiting for me to bust a move. And we can't bust a move if everything got to be perfect, right? We just can't. So, secondly, done is better than perfect. Let that be your mantra. Let that be your affirmation so that you are giving yourself permission to move forward and go and do, right? So, the antidote, what we've all been waiting for, the antidote for perfectionism is self-compassion. Learn to love you as you are. This has been a journey for me. Let me tell you, going even into my early 30s, still I was on the struggle bus. Improving, but I was still on the struggle bus, right? But if no one's told you, let me tell you, you are worthy. You are worthy. You are qualified. You are good enough. So you don't have to live underneath this cloak of perfectionism, preventing you from getting stuff done. Don't be like me. Just go for it, right? If you're an excellent starter, just get started. Don't allow this to hold you back and make you feel like you can't get stuff done because you absolutely can. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be executed with brilliance. So this has been another episode of Day to Day with Dorothy. Thank you so much for everyone who tuned in. Shoulder roll, shoulder roll. You know I'm the shoulder roll goddess. Yes. And we're always dancing on TCS TV. So look, couple of things before I jump out of here. Number 1, if this video spoke to you, ministered to you, like you were like, yes, this is for me, then that means that it's probably for one of your friends too. So please share this video, even if you're watching the replay, by clicking the little airplane in IG or the little share button in FB. But if you are technologically challenged, like I can be at times, you saw how I was struggling to pin today's title on Instagram, take a picture and send it to your friends, right? Or post it on your in feed or in your stories. In your stories is a great place to just share what you were doing today. We're all in quarantine. What's everybody doing? Take a picture and send it to your friends and say, hey, I watched this. It was great. I think you'll enjoy it too. All right, so I'll pose for you and make it easy. Look, let me fix myself up. Yes. So go ahead and share, share, share. I always appreciate when you're sharing. I always appreciate when you're commenting, even if you're watching the replay. And of course, if you are on this journey from going from ordinary to remarkable, be sure to get your copy of my latest ebook, The Plug. Become the remarkable leader everyone wants to know. If you are on Instagram or Facebook, click the link in the bio so that you can get your copy. Yes, yes, and yes. And if you are visiting the website, www.dorothyhenriquez.com, in the Plug collection, we've even got the Ultimate Leadership Bundle that lets you get this hard copy that has a journal in the back so that you can document your leadership journey even after the fact, right? You get the digital copy, the audio companion, plus a 20-minute coaching session. Yes, because I want to get y'all ready for when outside opens back up. You don't want to wait to start developing then. Now is the time. Now is the time to be the plug. The one that great bosses are looking for, the one that colleagues want to work with, and the one employees want to work for. Yes? Yes? This has been another episode of Day to Day with Dorothy. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you back here sometime tomorrow when the little baby is napping. Until then, shoulder roll, shoulder roll, shoulder roll. Yeah. All right, bye. And you know, Facebook, you always get the last shoulder roll. Yes, the last one. Mm, 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 mm. Tomorrow, we'll be back here.